Right, folks, it's about to be start of a new week. Tonight we're taking it easy, got a cup of tea on the go, and we're going to be doing and talking about refactoring, specifically incremental refactors. You know, typically we dive into the deep ends of the browser and explore that, or the JavaScript side of things, but I think what we'll be talking about and working with tonight goes beyond JavaScript, goes beyond React, goes beyond our web browser. It's difficult as a developer and even a team of developers to build large applications, because once you invest a certain amount of time building it, there's already new ways to do things, there's better ways to do things, and you have to be able to upgrade without breaking what you've got already implemented. So we're going to walk through some of that here. We're going to start with, I've already been taking a stab at, is replacing all the components in the React side that were class-based with functional components, which are just faster. And we've done that for almost all the components that we could that weren't app.js. So we're going to dive into that tonight. I already got a head start. So let's get some code on the screen to work, talk through it, talk through some of the ways I think about this and how I approach it. And folks, appreciate that I don't shy away from showing the ugly code. Everything is impressive in the code side of things, and I'm certainly not proud of the bootstrapping here. However, I've done a large amount of work already breaking this off. I've moved out a lot of these event handlers. So Kynto, this project, is set up a little bit differently than most. A lot of React projects are set up specifically with a backend API that they make get post requests to and pull data that way. Kynto is a little bit different. It's completely event driven, and typically those events coming through WebSockets. So the way that I'm handling this now that I'm breaking everything out of this antiquated class here is we're moving everything into populators that essentially populate our context. And as I said, only a small amount of this project actually uses APIs in the traditional sense. Most of this is all WebSocket driven. And what's important to me is, well, refactoring a large project. Like, let me go ahead and actually activate the live chat. Don't want to break things while we're refactoring, because that's just going to discourage you. Let's see if we've still got tokens left on YouTube. Cool, we do. Yeah. Okay, so how I'm just approaching this refactor is I'm incrementally coming in here and breaking out. Let's go down to event listeners. Basically coming in here, grabbing all these events that were all just dumped in app.js, and we're moving those into their own populators. So like user actions are all being grouped, logged in, log out request, registries being grouped, and we'll take this opportunity to get all this out here. I've already got all the UI rendering out of this layer, so that's all been moved into a functional component already. Old lang syng. Good show. So let's just carry on. Let's see what else we can move out of here. So stream state, this can go. So I have a populator for stream.js. Let's have a look at that. So remember, I put all this. There we go. Right. We're basically creating hooks for all of our populators. We're just dependency injecting in our context. And we'll just bind our events in here. Be moved into an enum at some point. This is handling the context for a WebRTC implementation, which is how I share my desktop, my screen, stuff like that. And we want to populate our React UI to have all that. But like I said, we want to break everything out. It sounds like Pink Floyd. We want to break everything out of our app.js, move it into the functional world. We'll go ahead and grab this and come over here and clean it up. Here, we're looking for set peers, set connected peers. What else do we have? Set streaming media. But approaching the refactor this way allows me to just take it one function at a time, one event handler at a time. Right, and now we created that populator here for each stream. We're going to hop right over to a provider. And we're going to invoke that. Stream. And we have to pipe.
Hello.
Hey there, welcome. How are you today? How are you doing? Doing a little incremental refactor here. If you're curious what I'm coding, it's literally what you're talking to me through. It's also how you can hear me and see my screen. All right. Got quite a bit of tech debt that we have to come in and clear out when we're doing it one function at a time. Let me get rid of this little bugger. All right, let's find the next. These can go. Let's see what's going on with this guy. Looks like it belongs into stream. So we could grab that as well. This isn't even handling any population of state, but it doesn't really belong anywhere else. Still pop it in here. And you can see every time we're doing that, we're dropping the size of a giant React class, 40 lines minimum per time. So I'll take it. Keep going until it's done. Got a bound of events here. So the Kynto event system works more akin to like a kernel in a computer. It's just responsible for shuffling stuff around. It doesn't care where it comes from, how it got there. Appreciate the like, thank you. Make sure you subscribe. I'll drop Discord links as well. What's that called? Let's just keep the see if we can target another handler here. Selected host, that's another stream related function. It should be popped in there. So yeah, looks like a good one. Grab her, pop her out, put her in this hook as well. So set selected host. So that's when you click like the video title or the in the video list of the WebRTC streams, it sets the main one. Lets you switch between them. So set selected stream. But we're going with the onset, aren't we? That's right. Carry on. What we're looking for here, we're going to be expecting peers to be passed in. I think we're already doing that. We are not. So we'll shuffle her in as well. Into provider, ensure that we're doing that. And then once we wrap up moving all our streaming populators out into here, we'll give it a quick test. I'm sure we've not broken everything. We need to target this, we need to get rid of this. We shouldn't be referencing window. Very dirty. Alright, set selected host is also another expected. Should I have it? Pass that now. Okay, now we just need to bind our event. We'll pull it over here. And we should be in good shape. One more out of the list. And with an incremental refactor such as this, it's almost brainless. You don't have to think. Find it. What I'll do is I'll populate these event names in an enum when we get done. If you're going to bind your event listeners, it's always a good idea to unbind them. I should take care of that. There we see if there's any more stream related stuff here we can pull out. I think there's quite a few. We have execute scenarios. Well, it's a wee bit more spread out. So let's quickly test our incremental refactor here, just see how it's going, see what I've broken. Hopefully not anything. So we're going to be testing the WebRTC side of things. Grab a phone here and a cup of tea. We'll get on with it. So from here, I think what I'll do is I'll share my desktop. And then on my phone, if you see this, you can see that's my desktop in the back of my phone in real time. So this is the functionality that we're refactoring. We're cleaning up the UI. See that? It's all real time. It's lovely. You can kind of think of this whole platform that I've built as like a stream overlay on steroids. Right, that's right. We need to test my phone as well to switch between these scenes. So that's what I'll do. Alright, so look at this. I'm able to share from my phone, right? I should be able to switch the main view by just tapping on my phone. Let's go ahead and test that. Yep, that still works. Lovely. So I think that's good. Because we still have our UI working even though we moved everything out of app.js related to streams. So I think I'm happy with that. It's bloody cool, man. We are going to look at media soup though. Like, while I've got this really fast, it's almost like kind of too fast. Like, look at it. Need a little bit more smoothness. We'll muck about with it though. Let's continue with the easy stuff tonight. The week's just getting started. I think what we're going to do is hop over to our user.js populator now. We do have a big one that I'm probably going to save for last. It's kind of the one I'm most excited about. It's a TTS chorus. So we have quite a unique text-to-speech system here that I've coded. Everyone gets a unique voice, a unique avatar. However, I started coding it so they could almost overlap, making it sound like people were like in a coffee house or something, commenting on stuff, as opposed to just like a stack of TTS. Right, all this stuff we're going to pull into system. Do I have a populator called system? Let's see. No, but we could put it in app.js, that would work. Alright, let's start a new populator. Okay. Hopefully the use app is not reserved. I don't believe it is. Do we expect to pass in? I'm not too sure yet. So we're going to use affected to bind our events. We need to import our Kynto context. Think of this as like a event bus. That's how we know what different peers or the server is saying. Let's just go ahead and grab this soft reload. That looks nice. Oh, it's a chaos song. I don't like it. Also, this is easy stuff to comment. It's easy. Helper functions shouldn't be in there.
Snappo says 1 new subscriber.
I'm not down a wee bit. What the hell? Good for the support. Okay. Logout request, we could pop that into our user.js provider. Let's see. I see there's some grossness over here, boys. Update avatar registering. Take on this one. One of the few typical API requests you'll see in this entire system. Moving stuff into the registry, I did take that off the WebSockets. What a crud, but it's unnecessary. Cut out a lot that wasn't. Right, we can pull this one out. Let's go in app, use app hook. What should we call her? Take away my Kynto. Okay. Did it again. Good. What was I thinking of it here, man? So what are you looking for here? This thing. How do you approach incremental refactors without blowing up everything? I find that's the biggest thing that keeps projects from growing. You inevitably hit a point where you just have too much going on. Say inject a state for this, set game state. Wonderful. Alright, now we could go ahead and delete this. You can see this was written even before. I'm not using arrow functions over my providers because they're not necessary, but when it comes to class-based components in React, it did make sense. There was a time they didn't even exist. Pull this out. Alright, let's go register our new use hook. Let's go register her up. What are we looking for here? Set game state. That's all we're looking for right now, right? Lovely. Carry it on. Inspect item that belongs in game state. So we could go grab her. And every method we're pulling out, we're shrinking the size of that component until eventually there's nothing left. And I did it off stream last week, but how I started was I just came in and ripped out all the UI rendering from the app.js class and popped that in a functional component. Everything was already using context at that point. There was no prop drilling required, so it's quite easy. Expect to pass and set inspect item. Go ahead and do that right now, and then we have to go grab our event name. It's actually populated, don't we? And then we'll quickly test it. Try to reduce mouse clicks as I'm going through this. Here, just wire it up. Okay. Still be an easy enough one to test. I think we just deleted it, didn't we? Yes, we did. So when you click on an item, you get this little pop-up box right up here, right? Lets you select other items. You can move items around the screen. You can redo your rooms. I've not even done any videos or streams on actually any of the room building components here, so this is a great opportunity to just get through and get reacquainted with how all this is programmed. But you can see this still works. Nothing with that change.
YouTube, remember to be kind and stay safe. Thumbs up.
Yes, thank you, YouTube Safety Bot. Why is it duplicating bloody comments? So that's a problem. Let's see what we have going on there. Oh, I think it's running the loop twice. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to restart the server to be safe, okay? Really simple process. We'll just take the container up here, fire that off, blue screen of death, and we'll be back up momentarily. Because that's double token burn, so whatever's going on there is unacceptable. We'll give that a second, and I'll continue on pulling stuff out. Let's see. Oh, stream connected. Oh, that stuff is coming out. Audio detected. I can't even remember coding that. Absolutely crazy. Delete that. What the hell is that? Nothing. Off you go. Didn't even need you in the first place. Restart our setup here. So we have two instances of Kynto essentially right now. There's actually three. We have our local environment and we have the production environment. That's what we're focusing on tonight. Let me just go ahead and reactivate YouTube chat. Hopefully it goes up smoothly.
And go.
Remember to be kind and stay safe. Thumbs up.
It's not wrong. Calculate our subscriber count. Viewers. Populate our likes. Alright, let's pick another target for this incremental refactor. So some of the stuff that's keeping me away from, let's just go tackle it now. Actually, there's a gross little thing that we need to take a look at. Oh, this is an easy one. We'll grab this. So we could be pulling two methods with us. So that's a score. Put it in the user provider. Even though it's doing the opposite of providing for the user. We'll just grab it. You have to write one. I don't even have one yet. Okay. User sounds so wrong. Ooh. Yes, limit is not cooperating tonight. Time to wire up our events to actually invoke the logout functionality. Quite happy with user effect in React. It's quite helpful. Definitely beats how they used to do things. Get derived state from props was the method you'd have to use in a class-based React component, and it was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Always a good idea to clean up after oneself in real life and in your components. It's just a wee bit tidier, right, than it was before. We don't have any more references to this, which is good. It's always good to also specify your file type. Alright, what I'll do here, let's just go back to our app.js. How many lines is that? Very odd lines are pulling out, that's okay. Let's get rid of it and then we'll test logout. Just to sure, we have to wire up to the front end. Look at that, we finally got a bind out here. Bind to bind. Let's go back to provider. Invoke this. One pass in there. We'll figure it out in a minute. Let's take a quick look at Twitch tonight.
Jaff K says, hey, bro, I'm from Ethiopia and I face some problem on building Flutter up. Can you help me out?
Oh, that's cool, buddy.
Hey,
Yeah.
bro, I'm from Ethiopia and I face some problem on building Flutter up. Can you help me out?
Yes. So what I'm going to do is drop a Discord link. But you can also get on my Discord by clicking my profile on YouTube, and you'll see a bunch of links. The first one should be Discord. Go ahead and join there. There's a bunch of us in the JavaScript world there. Yeah. I'm happy to look at your code on stream as well. I'm happy to just talk through it. Sometimes it's all it takes for you to figure out what's going on is having another pair of eyes on it. I'm doing some easy incremental refactor tonight, just enjoying a cup of tea, taking it easy. It does look like we have a bug to fix in a YouTube live chat integration, doesn't it? It does.
Snappo says 1 new subscriber.
Appreciate that. As you can tell, quite a small channel here, but folks that stumble into it really enjoy coding, but want to figure it out. Some of you just like watching people code, which I understand. I watch people doing all sorts of stuff on YouTube. Okay, so I do want to pull these out into a utils class. Function, not bloody class. I had enough classes. Enough classes for a lifetime here. This looks like an easy one to pull out. Why don't we do that? This is going to go into a user populator. I think we just created it, so that works out. Yeah, perfect. Love it. I recently had someone on here who's really motivated on JavaScript and showing all the right signs of like figuring it out. Well, one of the things that bothered me that they said, they're like, because I asked what's the difference between an arrow function and a traditional function in JavaScript, and they said, well, one's modern and you know it's a sign of a good developer. So I'm going to challenge that chatter when it comes on here. You'll actually see that I'm going from utilizing arrow functions in some cases where I had to. This was in a class component before this. And we're going into a functional component where we don't have to do that. There's no benefit. I'm not binding this at all, so I don't see the reason to do it. So I won't. You should be informed why you use what you use. JavaScript has a lot of quirks, and I grew up with it. So I was about 11, 12 years old when I first started programming. I say programming, but I was really just figuring out what the hell to do, right? But you know, I was making stuff. So I've got to see it grow up. Not since the very start, you know, I wasn't coding in the 90s, but early 2000s is when I was. If I could have been coding in the 80s, the 90s, I would have, but the 80s sounds more fun, honestly. A Commodore on the desk isn't there for no reason. What's this called? I already forgot. User settings updated. Let's go into the trash can. User updated settings. See, do we call it updated or update? It's the sort of crap that just does me in. when I was first getting into programming, actually, it was one of the hardest things for me was to name variables, name functions, until I made this like realization that just call it what it is. What's it describing? What's the type? And between all that, you can come up with your names quite easily. Have any more references to this in here? I don't think so. But we do have 2 new dependencies to inject here, user and set user. Let's go do that right now. Let's see, this is way more organized. It's split up, so these providers could be replaced, slipped out with something else. They don't all just have it in one giant app.js class. So every single event handler I'm getting out here, just the cleaner it gets, man, and we'll be able to eventually delete it. I must delete the wrong one now. Let's do it methodically to ensure we do it properly. You can have this guy though. Nothing crazy going on now. Replace this just with beef state.
Hi.
Hello, unknown. How are you doing tonight? Well, it's tonight for me. I'm in the middle of a refactor here.
One new subscriber.
I want to figure out why it's duplicating the bloody chats. Let's go look at our YouTube integration. I did make some changes there last night.
Do you know Python?
I know enough to get by. What are you working with, Mr. Unknown? I think I know the issue actually. But yeah, tell us what you're working with, and feel free to join our Discord as well. I've got some Python I could show you that I worked on recently to control this little robot over here. But all I had to do is write a little WebSocket client to get this to connect to the little avatar world you see on screen. So it can have an avatar on the screen to represent it and control it essentially. This is what I did with Python most recently. Powerful language. It's like it's basically an equivalent of JavaScript in that sense. It's a kind of a glue language. There's some large differences between different versions of Python, just like JavaScript on. One language, well, it's more of a Python and JavaScript are both.
What about machine learning?
Yeah, so Python makes a ton of sense there. But I do want to let you know that you can do some basic machine learning stuff with JavaScript in the browser using TensorFlow.js. What are you looking to do in machine learning? Are you looking to get like a language model running on your computer, or what? Talk to us, let us know. take it best around with the Hugging Face website and stuff.
Just I started learning ML models.
Okay, sweet. Is there any specific models that you're taking a look at, like right now, that I could look up? Hugging Face is where I've been digging into them. I did one for, or utilized one for extracting my face to draw an avatar. It's pixel face. And machine learning made the most sense. So just use a little model for that and we're able to run it in browser.
Do you have experience? Machine learning.
Not a ton, but I've messed around with it. Actually a good idea to spend a stream or two, a whole series on while working through it. So I want to just know, yeah, I would be willing to do the same thing though.
Now I started learning linear regression, but it goes really slow.
Interesting. What kind of GPU do you have? How are you running? Like, what's your hardware setup like? I'm really curious to know what your end goal is. I know that you're still figuring it out like the rest of us. So okay. Is it okay? Yeah. Pop and silly stuff, man. Is this in a class? Oh, functional. Weird. Do it here. Interesting. Alright, let's go pull that out. We'll be keeping an eye on time tonight because I've been chronically underslept. But I enjoy getting on here and I enjoy the interactions, so make do. We got a lot to remove still. When I first started this refactor process, I believe this was like 3,000 3,200 lines. We're now down to 1,657 lines. And we'll go all the way till there is 0. Everything's coming out. Just, I'm not happy with my here implementation one bit, but I've improved it quite a lot performance wise, but I'm not very happy with how it communicates the peer changes throughout the UI. There's some simple stuff here we can grab. There's some breaking the law, look at that. Very bad. Audio detected. Let's just go pull that out. So you know, like when you use like a GoToMeeting or Discord or something, and you know, like a video call or an audio call, and the person talks, and it shows the little border around the avatar as they talk. That's to make that work. That's my main focus here, guys, is the pushing the web browser on stream.js.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing? Just here in the middle of a incremental refactor. Instantiated that we need here. We could just go ahead and pull that out after we wire up our event. We're essentially just taking all my logic, because the main part of this project, when I rebooted it, started around the time of the pandemic. And I basically have a giant React class that was responsible for populating the state to the UI for my event bus. It's populated by WebSockets, WebRTC, and a bunch of other stuff. And we're just breaking up that giant class and making it disappear completely. Kind of going into like a populator pattern instead. It's made more sense. So this guy can go. Still need this event name. I need to go into enum. Do that when we're done now.
One new subscriber.
Don't forget there's Discord links and stuff in my profile. I've not done that already. Oh yeah, we did that. Just get all the streams, the WebRTC implementation out. I don't want any of that in here. Make it easier to come back and improve it. Oofed. I think we track route and context now. We'll confirm momentarily. Let's check. Yes, we do. So we'll pass that into stream, even though it seems kind of weird. Any component might want access to the route, so I guess it makes sense. Ooh, execute scenarios. Such an easy target. That's not good. So the easiest stuff has been taken out, which is good, but I'm getting left with a crud. Alright, I can go. Pop that in there. Use app.js hook. Sorry. What the hell is it called? We do need to pass in our set route over here. So we'll go back and do that. I haven't touched this guy in a while. 2 years ago. God, gives you an idea how the tech deck builds up, doesn't it? No problems with what I just clicked into, but crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Do you think the coding level is equal to your experience?
I think that someone with a lot of experience can leverage AI today very, very well, if that makes sense. I kind of see it like think about the difference between a lawyer using ChatGPT to put together a case as opposed to just someone that doesn't know anything about law. The lawyer will get way more use out of it because he'll know specifically which laws or case law he wants to include in his rebuttals or his case. And it's kind of the same thing with a a developer with experience, I think I could go in and talk to the AI and, you know, form a prompt that specifies something very specific to what I need or what I'm building. Like, I already know that for video transmission, I want to use WebRTC, which is peer-to-peer technology, to route video, to route media, route text. And so someone like me is able to come in and use it to effectively debug. But I don't like depending on it entirely, so that's why I sit here and code myself. That's how I did it when I started. But yeah,
Keep
the AI
great
is...
work up, flexed biceps, thumbs up.
I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. And make sure you subscribe, Shahzad, if you can, please. I'm usually on most nights. Like JFK, the AI could just blast through this little refactor work that I'm doing. That's for sure. There's nothing difficult to it. Since I got in this mess, I want to get my out. And until you can run these incredibly powerful AI models on your own bloody computer, don't expect it to be there forever or accessible to you. So I definitely give it up to the folks that are, you know, there's obviously limits with hardware of a personal computer compared to the absolute obscene things they're doing in, when they're building these AI data centers. Like if you look at Texas, it's running out of bloody water because the amount of water they're using to cool these centers down. Absolutely nuts. You imagine if someone just had a key to turn off all programmer knowledge at once. I think that's the sort of stuff we're going to have to start fearing in time. And you think about it, really the people that build the systems, that can build systems, are the ones that are going to continue to like make the impacts positive and negative in society. Like we're well into the information age. Where do you want to be in it?
Axel, use signal for cleaning function in use FSC. Penguin blue waving tear.
Axel Omar, could you explain a little bit more? I appreciate your feedback. So you're going to be horrified when you see what I'm in the middle of refactoring. I have a giant React class that I created about 5 or 6 years ago that's like the base of the UI component layer of this project I'm working on here. And I'm porting all the logic out into providers, populators sort of essentially to get rid of that app.js. I've already got the UI pulled out of it. So it basically just populates context now, but even that's too much for it. It's disgusting. This project's composed of well over 100 components minimum. And I also use Canvas, WebGL here, WebRTC and stuff as I mentioned. It's a giant infrastructure of stuff. That's how I share my desktop for the streams, how I share camera. I just kind of share the journey building it. Abort signal. So, are you saying in relation to like fetching from a backend API. That's one thing this actually does very little of. It's all powered by WebSockets and peer-to-peer WebSockets.
Google it for syntax.
Yeah, I'm having a look. Here's the thing though, these events, I don't always want this to override that or shut it down. There's parts of this that are not even in React that respond to these events. Like say this is embedded in a web view for the Steam Deck app. Some of these events I want out, so I don't always want to abort them, if that's what you mean. Or like prevent them from firing, continue. Like, happy to have a look. One area I found AI helpful for is explaining concepts. So I don't think it makes sense here. Oh, you mean this? You could call out. What I just want this to actually execute on mount essentially. That's it. I was missing that. I might have been throwing you off. Yeah, this is just to set up to mount my events, hot plate context. And we just want that to happen essentially once. All right, good eye.
Vinesh, what are you developing?
So currently right now I'm refactoring some gross code, but so the system you're talking to me through is the same system I'm using to share my screen and share my camera to show you stuff. So think of it as like a stream overlay. It's the simplest way to view it. I share my desktop, I share my cameras, and I implement chat integrations to YouTube, Kick, Twitch, and then we have everyone gets unique text, speech, voice. It's built in the browser, so it could be loaded on anything, and that's kind of the core of it. And then these avatars just kind of represent that. And the way I've coded this, that should be really easy, and I do have it in the roadmap. We're going to circle back and we're going to do a free GS layer. So, because I want to expand and play a little bit more with the VR. Have the Meta Quest free. And it'd be cool to just explore that a little bit. But yeah, even this little world is a little world builder. You can move items around, you can stack stuff, tiles. But I kind of hit the limits of what I want to do with like the 2D component. And yeah, just the way I've coded this by using like an event bus architecture has allowed me to not depend solely on one technology, but kind of layer them as I need them, and even come in and replace and remove them as needed. So I had someone say like, why don't you use Next? And I'm like, I do use Next, I use it at work, but I don't use it here because I'm not making any back-end requests. Like this is a completely WebSocket driven app. And but to your eye, you might not. A lot of developers I've not even got experience working with body WebSockets, I'll be honest. I've worked with a lot of developers. The ones that I do have worked with WebSockets are the ones that know multiple languages, learned them when they were kids, or built games. Like, you had to be in those free classes. And of course, there's, at least for web, you know, it's different for desktop. I feel you guys get a little bit more exposure to the, you know, just the underlying, under the covers, how things work. It's very abstracted in web, especially today. Before there was WebSockets in browser, we had to do all sorts of hacks to get that to work. And like the simplest method was just using Flash as a bridge, because you had sockets and Flash player.
Fantastic.
Appreciate you, buddy. That's brilliant. If you can, just like and subscribe. Helps us out here. I'm gonna get another quick cup of tea, and we'll start wrapping it up in a little bit. Be right back.
I'm just curious, will I be a threat to the devs?
You got me running back to answer that one. I think it cuts both ways. So I think what it's doing already is for experienced developers, ones that have experience with system architecture and can like build scalable things. I think it just amplifies what they could already do. 100% helps them. As for people learning to get into code, I think it's dangerous, because you're gonna just, I think that's dangerous. I think it's gonna cut down developers that truly understand how to build something from scratch. Now, I'm not saying that they might end up being, I don't know where it's gonna go long term, but I feel that's a threat. And a lot of the new people that have been learning how to code coming onto this channel specifically are all running into like similar struggles. But I don't think AI is a bad thing for developers, but it's too easy to rely on it to avoid learning when you're first starting out. So I don't know how I would have learned with that. It would have been too many possibilities. I might have just got bored and given up. Like, I'm still waiting to see the massive influx of powerful WebRTC applications on the web. But you know, we've had it's GPT-3. Did that come out 3 years ago or something? A little bit over that. Still waiting. It'll come, but only the big companies use that stuff yet, and it's all built into the bloody browser. It's crazy. Curious about your thoughts. Because like the analogy I like to use is like a lawyer with AI that knows his case law is going to get way more use out of that AI than a layman trying to, you know, fight a court case just using AI alone. Because they don't know if the AI's response is hallucinating. They don't know they don't have enough experience to make the AI useful in its response. And I think that's kind of an analog to what we have with the developer situation. It's remarkable though how powerful it is. Like I can sit there and specify my points very well to this thing, and I can get back incredible useful like code that 8 times out of 10 does what I specified. Pretty nuts. And I think that's definitely affecting pay and like how companies view development, which is ironic because you can't just hire any layman that doesn't know code, you know, and tell them to use AI to build a view-free app for a high-profile e-commerce store, like what, the Amazon or something. You just can't do that. It's a really good way to cut down compensation for developers, which is messed up. Because they're still doing the work at the end of the day, and they're responsible for the code that goes out, written by themselves or the AI. Now, in my job, we're encouraged to use a Copilot. I use it to generate like jest tests and stuff, but it sucks at that, I'll be honest. Like, there's a lot of mocking required still, and it doesn't have context the entire system like someone does that's worked on it for a multitude of years. As a debugger though, incredibly useful for a developer. Incredibly useful. Like, I definitely spend less time on Stack Overflow. I'm sure their traffic's down a lot. And if you look at, there's a death of just websites that's happening. It's been amplified. It started with like the social media, like the Facebooks, the Reddits. Like it's basically started killing off forums and just people putting up websites. Like I seen that change happening around 2010 or so. And now we're getting to the point where even Google searches, people don't even look at the links or click on links anymore. They just look at the summaries. So people are going to be stopped, are no longer motivated to build and update websites with information to even feed these searches in the first place. We're going to hit like a plateau. Or even Google search AI summary response, it's just going to be using ancient information, killing off the very source of information that populated it in the first place. Absolutely nuts. Make no mistake, we're in a very interesting age. I don't feel fear as far as like employment opportunities. There was a ton of them though. I'd be getting my LinkedIn would be hit up bloody hell almost every week, all sorts of positions. It's a couple of times a month, but they're good positions. There was a time when it just felt like tech was just going up, up and up. And it still is, it's just we're getting paid less for it, so. And I can tell you, it's not getting any easier. Like Swift UI apps are still hard to build. Working with Hybris is still an absolute monolith of a beast. And that's just the boring stuff. What's that path called? Config updated? Update config? Definitely has a better working memory than me, that's for sure. Update config. Just a little bit of context on the working memory for...
Hola, saludos.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Saludos desde Mexico.
Very cool. I am in Florida, but I'm from Scotland. Actually love the Latin culture over here. Very, very cool. Some of the best food as well. Oops. Yeah. One of the things that I do have coded that I just had to release was AI translation. So we could automatically translate everything back and forth, which is cool. Can we grab this big boy? I think so. Ooh, I forgot. We need to inject that dependency. What was it?
Did you have Ethiopian friends in Florida?
I think one in school actually. Between living in Scotland, England, and Florida, definitely met a lot of people from a lot of different places, that's for sure. And I'm one of those people because I'm not from where I live, which I consider kind of an honor. Config and set config. Ethiopia has one of the coolest histories of any countries, though. Some of the empires that existed there are extraordinary. Okay, what we're looking for now. Yeah, so we need to pull this out. We're working through this refactor. I'll start winding it down shortly. So I do want to ask if you could please subscribe and like this video. That way, like, okay, if you like this, you could run into it again in the future. That would help me out a lot. Oh, what the? That was an error. How did that even work? Yes.
One new subscriber.
That reminds me, I do have a quick bug to fix on this server for the YouTube integration. So we'll probably take a look at that before we shut this down as well. Yeah, but this definitely didn't work. What the hell? Oh, no event handler. This wasn't even hooked up to anything. Interesting. What the hell? What's this? This is for push notifications in the native apps that gets injected into our little event bus here, and this passes it through to the server. No, this is live. Right there. Grab this event. Pop that into app.js. Does it make more sense to attach to the user? I'll put it here for now. I'm gonna pollute our nice, clean enum using hook with a raw string. Disgusting. Looks just like a Pink Floyd star right here. I like it. Ooh. I don't have one for AI. Speaking of AI, I do have AI programmed in here. With support for AI avatars, they can tie right into the everything. Let's do a quick test of where we're at right now. See the fires in the trees. You can actually spend fires. Go to this years ago and it still exists. It'd be close enough for it to spread. There we go. These are settings updated. We have an error in there. I noticed that debugging this is definitely easier. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, it seems to be working so far. Appreciate everyone watching tonight, interacting and chatting. How you guys make this process way more enjoyable than it would be without that. Can't even speak. It's 3 AM where I'm at. Yeah, cheers. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you around tomorrow night. Around the same time, just a couple hours earlier than right now. That's when I typically get on. Alright folks, thank you. Let me just go ahead and tell you about the Discord channel, though. You can get to it from my profile. And I do have more videos on my channel that goes deeper into like more of the features and stuff that I've coded here. So please feel free to check them out. And yeah, just thank you for your support. Thanks everyone. Have a great one. And how I shut down the streams. So I coded one system to do all this. We do it right in here. I'll have to be introduction. Let's open the right tab. So literally get to see me kill the stream. The first thing I do is turn off the YouTube chat integration. You're going to see all the avatars on screen disappear. That's it. Everyone's gone. And then I go ahead and click stop recording, stop streaming. I click stop streaming first. That way, in case of still talking, I can stop that in the recording. Alright folks, cheers for